The year 1066 was not just a date, it was a fracture in time. Imagine an island on the brink of total transformation, where the death of one man would spark a conflict that redefined the Western world. King Edward the Confessor had died childless, leaving a vacuum of power that drew the eyes of every ambitious warlord in Europe. The throne of England was the ultimate prize, but the path to it was paved with broken oaths and ancient bloodlines. To understand the Norman Conquest, we must look beyond the English Channel to the rugged coast of northern France. The Normans were not merely French, they were the descendants of fierce Viking raiders who had been granted land in exchange for peace. Their leader, Duke William, was a man of relentless drive and strategic genius. He claimed that Edward, his distant cousin, had promised him the crown during a period of exile. But the story is deeper than just men on a battlefield. It begins with Emma of Normandy, a woman of incredible political acumen who married two English kings and served as the vital link between the Norman dukes and the English throne. It was her legacy that gave William his justification. However, the English nobles had other plans. They crowned Harald Godwinson, the most powerful earl in the land, almost before Edward's body was cold. Harald was a seasoned commander, but he was trapped between two storms. To the north, the legendary Viking king Harald Hardrada was invading with a fleet of 300 ships, intent on reclaiming the Danelaw. To the south, William was assembling an armada of his own, blessed by the Pope and fueled by the promise of English gold and land. In a feat of incredible endurance, Harald defeated the Vikings at Stamford Bridge, only to turn and march his exhausted army 300 miles south in just days to meet the Normans. On October 14th, near Hastings, the fate of England was decided. The English shield wall was legendary, a solid cliff of oak and iron that the Norman cavalry could not break for hours. But William was a master of psychology. He used feigned retreats to draw the English out of their positions, breaking their discipline. As the sun began to set, Harald Godwinson fell, and the Anglo-Saxon elite were decimated. On Christmas Day, 1066, William was crowned in Westminster Abbey, but the transition was far from peaceful. He replaced the English aristocracy with his own Norman followers, built massive stone keeps like the Tower of London to overawe the population, and commissioned the Domesday book to account for every blade of grass in his new kingdom. He brought a new language, a new feudal system, and a new destiny. The Norman Conquest was a brutal, beautiful collision of cultures that birthed the English identity as we know it today. This was the end of the beginning. Join us for the next episode as we explore the turbulent reigns of William's sons and the rise of the mighty Plantagenet dynasty. What do you think was the biggest mistake Harald Godwinson made? Tell us in the comments and follow for more history.